Wireless earbuds with solid ANC. Let's check these out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out these. These are the One More Q30 PistonBuds Pro wireless ANC earbuds. That's a lot, but these are really nice little earbuds. And you can see they have an unusual design with this sort of post that just goes down the side of your ear. They're super easy to work with. They're very comfortable. Lots of good specs. But here's something that's really important that you need to know. It's not even listed on the list of items on their page, but it includes 3 sizes of ear tips, and it makes an enormous difference. So when I first got these and pulled them out of the box and paired them with my phone, I was listening and I'm like, there's not much to write home about with this sound. I don't know why people are so excited about this. And then I dug around, and in the box, there's another little sort of carrying container where the unit sits, but the back of that actually has different size ear tips, and you have to hunt around in there to find them. But do that, try the different sizes, and if you're like me, you'll find a significant difference by putting on the right size ear tips, because all of a sudden I went from like this much sound to this much sound, and it sounded a whole lot better. So right off the bat, it comes with multiple sizes of ear tips. Make sure you're using the right ones for your ears. Now, let's talk about them a little more. So they're powered by what are known as DLC, or diamond-like carbon diaphragms, and that gives them some nice capabilities in terms of being very responsive to music and giving you nice music reproduction. The unit, at least the earbuds, are IPX5 waterproof, so if you want to wear them while you're out running and you're kind of sweaty or something, totally fine. The ANC is really the shining star of this. It's a 32 decibel ANC, which is quite respectable. And what's interesting is there's actually 4 levels of ANC. You have to do that from the app. I'll show you that in just a minute, but it gives you adaptive, windy, mild, and strong ANC. So you have 4 different options, and you can just sort of choose between them to find the one that works best for your environment. I will warn you, the more you're using ANC, the lower the battery life, but we'll come back to that in a second too. Okay, it also has a less than 1 second latency mode for gaming, and again, that's from the app, so you'll need that app. It does support spatial audio, which gives you this more surround sound, and that's something you can turn on or off. It's going to work best if you have music or audio sources that are designed for spatial reproduction. Otherwise, what happens is it just sort of expands it a little bit, but if you listen to actual spatial music, and that's like Apple Music, their premium subscription gives you that, for example, then it does give you this pretty incredible surround sound experience. Bluetooth 5.3, the very latest generation of Bluetooth, and then each earbud gives you 7.5 hours of playback time optimal. So again, if you're going to have your ANC on, that's going to chop that down by about 20%. But 7.5 hours, 3 full charges in the case gives you about 30 hours of playtime, best case scenario. It's charged through USB-C in the bottom, and no big surprise, it includes a USB-A to USB-C charging cable. And let's see, the calls, if you want to talk to someone, there are 3 microphones on each post. So it does a nice job of getting rid of that environmental noise around you, which is very helpful. And then we get to the app. So let me show you the app. And to do that, let's do this in order. I'm going to unlock my phone. I'm going to turn on recording. We're going to switch to the One More app. And you can see here that it just says connect because they are not on. So I'm going to put them in my ears, and that's easily done. The one on the right-hand side, when it's facing you, goes in your right ear. And here's a close-up of what that looks like in my ear. And then the left one, ingeniously, goes in your left ear. And it's all paired. Notice that that connect button went away. So now they're connected, and now I can do things like, you can see there's 4 options for ANC. I can just turn it off entirely. And then I hear this da 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 da. So there's all sorts of audio feedback as you change things. And smart playback, I can make some changes there if I want. Custom settings, if you want to tweak what happens when you single or double tap, then that's something you can do. And by the way, they come in black or white, and the app supports you choosing the color that's yours, which I really like because I want it to look the same, and it does that. And then sound options is where it's fun. So you can go into presets, and I have acoustic, but I can say I really like bass. And notice at the very bottom that it's actually changing that waveform to show you what it's doing with the setting that you have. And if you prefer, you can do your own custom EQ. But I also wanted to show you near the bottom, you can turn on or off spatial audio. I have that enabled. And then that low latency mode, that's gaming mode. And so that can be very helpful too. And finally, on your firmware, make sure you have your firmware up to date. That's pretty important. So that's the mini tour here. And of course, if I was playing music, I would have been able to enjoy that music, but I didn't want to do that because then I would stop talking and you'd be like, wow, this is a really boring video, dude. Why are you just sitting there listening? So let me put these back in the case. And so let's talk about the ANC, and then let's talk about the sound reproduction. So first off, the ANC, I found it was good. One of the things that I found a little disconcerting was when you switch between ANC modes, it actually drops ANC and then starts it again in the new mode. And that's disconcerting if you're in a noisy environment. I guess what I would prefer is it kept the old ANC and then just switched directly to the new one, whether that was more or less. But it is something that you might find a little surprising. In terms of the ANC itself, I found it did a pretty darn good job. Mostly ANC seems to be focused on high-end frequencies. So if you're in an environment where there's a lot of bass and everything, it'll lower that down, but it doesn't eliminate it, even on the highest setting. And I'll admit, sometimes I put in ANC earbuds and don't have any music source or anything, just as a way to sort of lower the intensity of the noise around me. I find that can be really helpful, but it's not always a great experience. These did a nice job. These are very comfortable, and so it was really easy for me to just put them in, have the ANC going, and then just get back to what I was doing. And I could still hear the environment around me, which you would also get with that sort of playthrough mode, or actually, what do they call it? They call it transparent mode. Gives you something like that. But I like having the ANC on, and then you always have this experience when you actually take them out where it's just like, wow, all of a sudden for a couple of seconds you realize how loud the environment you're in actually is. So props to them, really good ANC. I like all the different settings. And in terms of the music reproduction, again, make sure you pick the right size ear tips while you're auditioning and just getting them all set up. It will make an enormous difference. When I pulled them straight out of the box and just put them right in my ears and started using them, I was pretty underwhelmed. I was like, well, this sounds like an AM radio, basically. And then I switched it around and tried different ear tips and ended up landing on the largest ear tips, which is typical for me. And then it was like, here we go. And it's just like the music just opened up. It was just like, all of a sudden we have the full range of frequencies, and it made a big difference. And it gave me really nice music reproduction. I was just going and listening to some early Supertramp, and you know, this super early stuff isn't great in its engineering, but their like middle phase is just beautifully engineered music, and it just sounded great on these earbuds with ANC on and with spatial audio on. Now, spatial audio didn't give me an enormous difference because that music isn't engineered for that. It needs a different way of mixing and such, but it still sounded really nice, and I really enjoyed these. And one of the great things about these is they're also entirely affordable. If you're looking at something like Apple AirPods or Earbuds Pro, they're pretty spendy, right? So these are nowhere near that price range. So there's lots to like here. Not much else I can tell you. Comes with a little QR code that makes it super easy for you to get the right app. I already had the app on my phone because I have other One More gear, but it's really easy. And once you pair via Bluetooth, when you open the app, it will see the device lets you pick the color, and boom, you're right on that screen that I showed you. So it's really easy to work with. And I have also paired these with my Vizio television, and they work great for that too. So really lots to like here. It's definitely ones that I would suggest that you check out. Now, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to my channel. Click or tap on that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notifications. And if you thought this helpful, I always appreciate a thumbs up. Sweet. Now, these are the One More Q30 PistonBuds Pro wireless ANC earbuds. They come in black or white, and they are $54.99, currently minus 20%, dropping them down to $43.99 at Amazon.com. And that's $43.99 for solid ANC and very enjoyable music reproduction. So I found them to be a really good addition to my lineup. You might just do that too. So I'll hope to catch you in my next video.